Hi, everybody. It's Gretchen.
I'm Camille, and we are starting over.
Thanks so much for being here. Camille and I were just visiting about the importance of saying thank you.
That's right.
Yeah, and not just when somebody serves you tea,
Right.
but really tell a story you were just saying.
Yeah. Well, I have a dear friend of mine, and he was telling me, we're just talking about gratitude, like Gretchen and I do, and he said, I was in my teens, and I went to the emergency room. I was really sick. I was skiing in Utah, and I got this I had this sore throat. I couldn't get rid of it, and they gave me some antibiotics. Well, he ended up going back 3 different times, 3 different emergency rooms, and the same antibiotics wasn't doing anything. He wasn't getting any better. He'd lost 10 pounds, and he finally found this doctor, and this doctor took the time with him and said, "This is what you've got going on." He figured it out, and he gave him a different medication, and it actually saved his life.
Wow.
And so he looks back on that, and it was too difficult at the time, probably at his young age, tender age of 18, to realize that this man had probably just saved his life. And so now when we're talking about gratitude and we look back on our lives, there are moments where we have these angels among us that, we didn't realize what they were doing, but that man saved his life. And he said, I wish I could find him. I guess he can't find the doctor's name. It's been a long time, but he wanted to just say thank you. And I look back on my life at people that were there for me that maybe I was grumpy around, or maybe they were trying to help me when I was, delivering a baby, and I am not in the mood. And
Wait, you delivered a baby?
two. I've had two
Oh,
children.
I thought you meant you physically delivered
no.
someone's baby. I'm like,
Oh,
wait,
no,
girl.
no. Oh, yeah.
What are you talking about that one?
I'm good at most things.
You had children.
I had children.
Yes, gotcha.
I was,
yes,
yeah.
you did. You had two.
And just, when you're caught up and you're in pain and you're grumpy and you're like, just
Get it out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And the doctor was just, matter of fact, all business. I mean, I had to have an emergency C-section. It was kind of a tense moment.
Yeah.
But it was pretty dangerous. And I look back at that moment, and I could have died. My baby could have died. I mean, it was a pretty big deal. Mm-hmm. And I also never said thank you. And I just was like, bedside manner, I think he was just, the look on his face was so serious and so stern. He was barking orders. I mean, he was just commanding the situation to save our lives.
Yeah.
And I look back on that, and I really just feel grateful.
Of course. Yeah.
I've got to say thank you to Dr. David. So thank you, Dr. David. Yeah.
I was listening to this talk, and it was talking about changing the direction in your life. And one of the things that it talked about was, as adults, I mean, you're not really asking your children to do this, but as adults, send out 10 thank yous every day.
I love that.
Whether it's in a text or a phone call or,
Yeah.
One-on-one, whatever that might be, send out 10 thank yous. The other night, so my 3 boys live with me, and they're all adults. They're in their 20s, but they're adults.
They're adults. Yeah.
And I was walking up the stairs, and all 3 of them, they're just like, "Thanks for dinner, Mom," which they say all the time.
Yeah.
But it made, I don't know, it just had an impression on me that moment, like, what a blessing it is to be able to serve my family.
Yeah. And they're so great. Their boys are amazing.
Well, and
all your kids are
all
amazing.
my kids were over last night. It was one of my kids' birthdays, and they were just so. It just is such a. I mean, compliments really mean something, when it's coming from somebody that you really love and care about. And so I think giving and receiving, we need to be able to receive a compliment.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Well, you know how you feel when you give something. I love to give things, right? I accumulate so much, and I give stuff away all the time. But I feel good. I feel love when I give. Mm-hmm. So I want people to feel love when they receive. But I struggle myself with receiving because I'm like, oh, no, I don't need a thing. Trust me, I don't need anything. But I don't want to rob people of that opportunity to feel like I feel when I contribute to their lives. And so someone reminded me of that. They said, Camille, you really need to let me contribute because you give a lot, and I want to give back. And so I don't want to rob you of that. So thank you. And it is amazing when you can really receive that gift and you can receive someone's love like that. What it does is it creates that sensitive moment with you. Like there's a vulnerability.
There's a bond.
Total bond.
Yeah.
Absolutely bond. That's
absolutely. Also, what that actually does for our spirits to be able to receive and to be able to give is part of the connection of humanhood, of spirituality. I mean, there's so many things that is a part of that's important.
But I agree with you. I think that really is a critical thing to connect with people. So when you are receiving, unconditional love is right there. And there's nothing more humbling than to have somebody contribute to you and when you can contribute to another, and not just materially, just really being there for someone when they're going through something, listening, caring, just grabbing their hand, just some sort of connection like that when you're just being a human,
I think too, if you ask, to be, how can I be of service? How can I give back today? What can I do? Allow the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, to minister to you, to find those synchronicities, to be that person.
Yeah.
Last week, my daughter had surgery. We were driving up to the hospital, and I said to her, I said, I have really great memories of this hospital because I did chemo here, and the people, the staff was amazing, And so as we were getting her all checked in, and there were some things that were happening with her blood pressure, and, all of a sudden it was just like the nicest nurses, one after another, after another, after another, and when it was all over with, she goes, Mom, this was actually like a really good day because there were so many willing and kind people that took care of me, and I think we can bring that into ourselves as well because you get what you are.
Yeah.
So if you're kind and you're giving and you really care, I mean, you're not just doing it for a brownie, you really care. You're going to get that.
That's right.
You're going to attract that same personality and that same service of what you are.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think we do create what we are. Yeah. But I think we underestimate the power of our own humanity, and when we just are a human being with other people. When I'm getting served, or when I'm going on an airplane, or I'm like, "How y'all doing? How you doing? I'm glad you're here for us." And I always thank the pilot. Thanks for getting us here safe. But I try and make a point to treat people like people. Not just a number.
Right.
Yeah.
I had to go get some labs done today. It's my time to see my oncologist, and I'm always happy to be there because I care about those people.
Yeah.
I don't look at it as like I'm going to go find out bad news. Yeah. I'm always happy to be there. And there was 2 new nurses. They're not new. They just hadn't been there when I was there, but they were new to me. And I just was carrying on a conversation, and you could just tell they were so like most people that come in here. They don't feel good. They're grouchy.
Yeah.
They, in every right. I get it. But, to me, I always think make the most of that experience by how you give to others. And trust me, when somebody's going to poke you with a needle in your arm, I'm going to be nice to them. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I have veins that roll and they're skinny. And so you got to, but leaving and helping them. Can you imagine working in a situation where you're around cancer people all the time? How hard that would be
tough.
To be just
be tough.
They're the caregiver, you know what I'm saying? And so just to give a little something back to them to kind of recharge and replenish them.
Well, and again, just saying thank you to that. That is the most important thing. I've had some recent theft in my some checks were stolen, and I am so grateful to these detectives. And I'll tell you, I just watch. I think they have a thankless job. I think nurses have a thankless job, like you're talking about. So when these people in these service positions, they're doing a hard job. They're with people that are dying and sick and grumpy. And I was one of those. What the? Oh my gosh, someone stole from me, and personalizing, right? It's just he's like, look, sweetheart, this happens 24/7. I mean, those banks can't keep up with it. And so he said, don't be so hard on the bank. I said, I'll be a little kinder. But really, he took the time with me, and I am so grateful. And every time he texts me or calls me, and I think he's really in communication with me because I'm saying thank you, and I want his communication, and I appreciate the effort he's putting in. Doesn't that make you want to do more? If you're feeling like someone is grateful for what you're doing, it's like they just want to go the extra mile. And I'm watching this happen, and I'm really grateful for that too.
So starting over, guys, is all about starting over with your feelings.
That's right.
It's not nothing Camille and I are coming up with, but when you are feeling at a place that you're in your low, it's always a good idea to give. Yeah. It's always a good idea to serve others.
One thing I wanted to also bring up is I learned from one of my mentors that there's a way of being a contributor or a taker. It's like a consumer or contributor. And even in the realm of, like I'm the buyer, I'm spending money here, I can boss you around. I can treat you like I want to treat you because, I'm paying you to, you owe me.
You owe me.
Yeah, you owe me. And I'm paying you, and you're kind of like, you're my bitch. So, but it's like in that realm of relating, it's like I'm a consumer, and because I've given you money, I can treat you a certain way.
Right.
And so what I really think it's important that I share with my clients is with everybody is that even though I'm spending money, like I put money out there, I don't have to treat people like that I'm a consumer. I can still be grateful. I'm still paying for a service or for something. I can still treat people like people. And I think that's the most important thing. And I'm telling you how valuable this is with people. So they feel like they've been contributed to when you leave their space. So no matter what space you're in with others, be a contribution to them too. Even if they're coming to, they think I've had to tell my clients, I know you pay for my time. I know that you think that I'm supposed to do whatever, but I'm not going to take your call at 3 a.m. and I'm not going to, I don't owe that to you. So if you want to work with me, you've got to be a contribution to me as well. It's got to work for both of us, not just for you. Right. So I bring up the truth with most people, but I think it's really important to kind of have the attitude of I'm going to contribute to you, even if I'm paying for your service or your products, and same with vice versa.
I know that I used to have a boss that constantly was saying things like, well, don't forget who writes the checks around here. Don't forget who's the president and the owner of the company, And after a while,
you owe me.
The morale of the employees were like, respect was lost.
Yeah.
A desire to actually work for this person
and be grateful
was lost. Yeah, because it just felt like the genuineness of I'm appreciative that you're here and thank you for contributing to my company. Thank you for the success that you are contributing to help my company, not only stay afloat but grow. They felt unappreciated, and I think we as humans, when we feel unappreciated, we pull back.
Yeah,
it's a protection. We pull back, and so starting over, is really we're talking about. Don't let yourself get into that space of not feeling, that security, not feeling that comfort or that love. If somebody's treating you that way, you just have to find somebody else to serve.
Yep.
Find another cause, find another reason, find another opportunity. You don't have to serve the asshole.
That's right.
There's other things to do.
That's right. And sometimes you really can't work it out, so you've got to end that relationship. But you have the autonomy to quit. You can always quit these things instead of sticking it out. Oh, I put money in it. I've got to stay. No, you don't. You're more valuable than the money you put into it. So if you're in a quandary, we can work that out.
All right, everybody. Thanks for being here with us. You can go to our website at startingoverseries.com. And what can people find there?
Well, we've got some offerings there. And so we do one-on-one coaching. We do couple coaching. We do corporate training. And we've got some webinars we're putting together. So I think you'll like what you get.
It's so much fun. We have such a good time working with y'all. Also, we love to do event speaking.
Yes.
We love to do event seminars and training. We love to do corporate speaking. So all that information you can find on our website. Again, it's startingoverseries.com. Thanks for being with us, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Bye.